I know there's some high stakes coming up at Full Gear. You're in the middle of a tournament, but I actually want to talk about last week. Eddie
Sure.
Kingston, first singles match for you with him since 2015, which is kind of shocking considering how much you guys have, sort of crossed paths on the indies over the years. But I mean, seven years is a long time not to cross paths. And I saw a quote that was actually pretty interesting. Somebody said about the match, if you won, this app's going to be a nightmare tomorrow. You won.
Yeah, and look how that turned out. My Twitter gets hacked.
I that's not where I was going. But yes, you yeah, unfortunate. I set myself up for that one. But
I thought that was a great segue. I was like, oh, this is funny. Nope. I guess where were you going with it?
I was just going to talk about the match itself and history, and you got a win over him. Uh, I guess I'll stay on that point. Did you get? I mean, everything's good. You got your account back, and yeah,
No, thankfully, I haven't got it back yet. I'm still able to live a nice, peaceful, enjoyable life. But I think eventually we're gonna get my account back, and it's back to the trenches. But
okay.
but for
All
now,
right.
I'm enjoying the break.
See, it's actually a happy accident. You
Yeah.
don't have to dive into the cesspool that is Twitter.
No,
Uh,
just the only thing that sucks is that I'm about to have probably the biggest match of my career against Bandido, and I can't even promote it. So that I'm a little upset about. But I feel like people are gonna whoever's gonna watch is gonna watch. I'm excited. I would have loved to put the Ethan Page touch to promoting the match, and Twitter was a big tool for me.
all right. Well, hopefully you get it back.
Yeah. But sorry, back to Eddie Kingston. Go ahead.
Yeah, you no no no. That's fine. You have Instagram, you have all kinds of stuff. You have your vlogs, so we'll
Yeah,
get there. But
we'll get there.
uh, the thing I found humorous, if I can say that, is you kind of let everybody know, hey, this isn't me, and you're like, I was just eating arepas with my kid.
Dude,
I was just like,
this will be great for the interview.
okay,
I am no joke, literally sitting eating arepas fresh. Like I've been looking forward to these all week. My wife for after the Eddie Kingston match, but my phone starts going off, like ringing, numbers I've never seen. So I answer the phone. Hello, yep. No one answers. Okay, hang up. New number. Okay, what's going on? Nothing. New number. Someone giggling on the other line. New number. Oh my God, Ethan Page? And then I was like, what? And I checked my text, and then everyone's like, bro, are you hacked? Are you hacked? What's going on? Are you okay? And I'm like, oh no. This dude tweets my real phone number out. So like I'm getting 100 calls every 30 seconds. It was a stressful 30 minutes, I'll say that.
yeah.
But we got all that situated. But I had no idea. I was just enjoying lunch. And it made a great headline, by the way. Ethan Page gets Twitter hacked while eating at Epas. Come on, nothing better than that.
I did see that. So at least you have a good sense of humor about it, all things considering. But uh, you did beat Eddie.
I did.
The app has been a nightmare since then. I don't know if
Mm,
it was because of that or because of maybe who owns the app now, but
sure.
I don't want.
Let me take a little bit of credit.
I'll give you the credit.
Yeah, I'll
Uh,
take some.
Bandido, you've never faced him before, so you go from Eddie, you haven't seen him in 7 years. Bandido is, I mean, as far as cage match, as far as I can tell, and that's usually reliable. You've never faced him, so how do you go into a match like that where you're familiar with Eddie, and then you have no point of reference, so to speak?
I mean, there's a lot of wrestling online that's easily accessible. So I have a lot of points of reference and I have a lot of experience with like literally some of the best luchadors in the entire world. So as far as like preparing for like that style of match, um, the Eddie match, I actually forced myself to put on 5 pounds because I figured it'd be harder to lift him. He's one of the hardest hitting guys on the show. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to show up a little heavier for this. The Bandito match, the day after, that's why I had the arepas. It was my bad meal. And then I've been doing 2-a-day workouts leading up to Dynamite. Every morning I'm lifting weights, and every night I'm doing like 40 minutes of cardio just in preparation for someone his caliber, the athleticism that he brings to the ring. He's fast as hell, and literally gorilla pressed Roosh did a stalling suplex to Chris Jericho. So like, this is a strong dude too. So I knew I had to bring something completely different to the table this coming Wednesday, and my body is a big part of that. I want to be able to keep up and to perform at the level that I'm expected. And Bandido is one of those performers that I'm going to have to give 2 workouts a day to get ready for.
Now, I know usually people, if you follow MMA, like 5 pounds doesn't maybe seem much to some people, but that's usually a weight class, or depending on where you are, it could even be 2.
Yeah.
So are you doing this like a healthy way? Are you doing it like, I'm just going to eat what I want and gain the 5 pounds really quick? Like what kind of preparation goes into that? Because obviously you're gaining the weight and then want to lose it again.
So I can gain probably 10 pounds in a week, no problem. It's the losing that's the hardest part. So I had to make sure that a lot of the weight that I had for the Eddie match was water weight so that I could get rid of it as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And into the Eddie match, I was 233. And this morning I was 227. So I'm hoping by Bandido, I'm 225. So I would have dropped 8 pounds. Just over a pound a day. But yeah, I don't know. I have like a weird understanding of my body. Like during the pandemic, I did so many weird like diets, and I would try different foods, and I would like, I know it takes 3 days for my body to metabolize after a bad day. So now that I have my body back in motion, I'm in fat burning mode, and I understand like what I'm allowed to eat, what I can't eat, at what times, what workouts, what's too much, what's too little. So I'm really trying to prep for this Bandido match to have a very visible difference in my body and the way I wrestle in the ring too.
Okay, I respect it.
Yeah, I know it's weird.
No,
I understand. I understand that this is not a typical pro wrestling, I guess, way. But in my mind, it's like these opportunities haven't been passed my way very often. So
yeah.
I want to try and bring something completely different to the table at an effort and level that not many people are willing to do. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on a lighter note, some people didn't really follow that during the pandemic and kind of let themselves go because they're like, oh, I'm going to be home. But on a more serious note, you documented your weight, your body transformation over the past couple of years where, I think that was still going on with Impact Wrestling, but even into AEW, like you lost a lot of weight, you're more toned, even your clothes changed, your in-ring and casual wear, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I do respect it on that level because it takes a lot of dedication, and you're obviously seeing results. So
I'm trying, and like you said, like the clothes and the backstage, like I try and put attention to every detail humanly possible. And obviously, I have no clue if I'm gonna walk out of Wednesday the winner or not. But just I want everyone to know I have ordered 4 pairs of tights just in case Ethan Page makes it all the way to the title match. I have a fresh pair of attire for every single match. I'm going all out. If this is the chance that they're going to give me the ball, all right, I'm going to dunk it. That's my thought, at least. Every aspect of this. Plus, if Macho Man could wear 3 different pairs of gear in one tournament on the same day, I could do it over a couple weeks.
that's my headline. I'm telling you right now. Ethan Page ordered 4 pairs of tights just in case. So
It's true though. It's so bad. I mistimed it so bad that I had a gear maker at AEW and an offsite gear maker both send tights for the Eddie match. And I was like, oh no, I messed up the weeks, the wrong weeks. I was like, now I think these guys are going to hate each other or me. Whose gear do I wear tonight? How do I make this work? But I had to be prepared. So we're there. They're all ready to be worn. I just got to win these matches to show off these beautiful tights.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and assume like that's my pick. You're my pick. I'm gonna say you're gonna win this match. You're gonna move on. You still have one more round to get past. I won't. So, but would you go as far as like how far out would you order gear? Because obviously the title shot is at Winter is coming. So would you have to like
Yeah.
order something like that right now?
Oh, it's already been ordered.
Okay. So
Yeah, yeah. So I'm a big prepper, especially with how much I have going on. Things slip my mind so easily, like with the YouTube and doing live appearances at toy stores. Anything extra I can do for AEW, and then obviously the schedule for us has gotten wild with having live rampages and stuff like that. And then with Jeff Jarrett coming, I can only assume it's going to get better with live events. But yeah, I have to order them in advance, or I'll forget, or they won't come in time. And yeah.
yeah. Uh I I've heard good stories, bad stories about gear makers. I don't really know how I've never had it done, so I don't know how far in advance you have to do it. But
I've got two, my boy Chris and my boy Clint, and they're both amazing. And you're so right. Like gear makers, my goodness, a headache from the day I started wrestling to still to this day. I'm lucky to have two guys that are so easy to work with.
there you go. Full gear is obviously the goal. Again, not looking past Bandido, but anybody on the other side of the bracket you do want to see, whether it's first time match, somebody you're familiar with. I haven't looked this up yet,
Uh,
but I'm assuming Brian Cage you've shared a ring with before, but
yep,
maybe not
we
Ricky
have.
Starks. I don't know.
I've shared a ring in a singles match with both men.
Okay.
Um, I have already given an ego's edge to Lance Archer. So, I mean, if they want to do that again, sure, I'll do it on Dynamite this time, or at Full Gear. But to me, I mean, I would bet on either Brian or Ricky being in the finals on the other side. Um, Brian Cage seems to be on a tear, and I mean, Ricky is just has been touching the glass ceiling for a little too long.
Mm.
For my personal opinion, I think he's a huge star in professional wrestling to come. Uh, yeah, I don't know. And none of it'll be off my back though. I don't mind sharing the ring with any of these guys, but my goal is obviously to win the whole thing,
Yeah.
and that's yeah. I'm also have been waiting for an opportunity, and this is definitely going to be mine.
Yeah, Ricky seems like the crowd favorite right now. He's, a man of the people, and if that's the match, then you're there to crush his dreams and realize your own. So,
Sure, yeah. Plus, if
uh,
anyone's you're gonna say he's the man of the people. What are you saying? He's like the people's champ?
no, I don't want to go that far.
Okay.
I'll let other people say that. I don't. I'm sure he would appreciate the comparison, but I don't want to. I don't want to put that on him. That's
Sure, sure. Yeah, sure.
maybe. I think eventually we could put him in there, but that's lofty right now. Too much.
All right.
Actually, maybe I should put that much pressure on him because it'll make it easier for you. So, uh, I'll finish with a couple of fun ones.
Sure. This has all been fun, dude.
But this was, match strategy, gear, little more offbeat here. So
Sure.
you have a following. Part of that's because of your love of collecting. I mentioned all this, some of the stuff behind me because
Yeah.
of you. I've seen some of the stuff. Have you seen a prototype of your figure yet? Your AEW figure yet?
Ooh, that is a genius question. So I haven't seen a prototype, but I have seen the design.
Okay.
So I know what match the gear is from and what it's gonna look like. So that's the extent of any kind of I guess that I've seen is just the
Mhm.
concept art. Yeah. So I haven't seen like a 3D render. I haven't seen a prototype of the figure. I haven't seen it painted. These are all steps that I can't wait to be
Yeah.
a part of because I'm so excited. But I know the gear it's going to be, and that makes me very excited. Just the fact that one is coming out
Mhm.
it's still beyond me.
Now, in that regard, is that something that they're like, okay, here's the, like, here's the photo that we used for reference, or did they say like, do you still have the gear so we can like, kind of get more
Yeah,
detail?
so so they'll always take photos of talent in whatever gear they have for like a pay-per-view or special gear. If you choose to go get gear photographed, they're going off of reference that they have. And it's like they care about the detail big time. So they want every pose, every angle, even the bottom of your boot, just in case it's a different color. Like they really want to go next level because they're catering to the collector. It's toys for people my age. But uh, for me, they asked me what gear I wanted. So
Nice.
to me, I was like, okay, they respect the fact that I'm super into toys and collecting. They want my opinion to be a part of this. It's valued in the process of creating it. And I know my fans are going to love that because they know how much I care about this toy coming out. So the
Mhm.
fact that I can have my fingerprint on it will mean so much more to the people that want to go out and buy it.
All right, what's the gear?
I can't say. I like how quick you asked though. I
I'm
want to, dude.
trying.
I want to tell you so much and so bad, but I really can't. This is a secret I got to keep. I don't want to ruin this relationship
Yeah.
with Jazzwares before it begins. But
I
yeah,
fair
they've been
enough.
really cool. Yeah.
Fair enough. I saw Sammy Guevara had it in his vlog where they were like, hey, here's your figure. And I think he even made a note of it. He was like, I might have had to edit this out because I'm not even supposed to see it, or you're not supposed to see it yet. And then he was like, oh yeah, it got cleared by the time that the vlog came out, so I can show you guys. So it was like, I'll respect it.
Yeah. I promise too. Like I've been talking to Jazzwares. They are going to allow me to present anything that they're willing to share through my toy hunt vlogs. So my fans will be able to get updates through me anyway. So like they're going to share a little bit more than they usually do with the process of it, just because my audience will understand it and they'll actually appreciate to actually get that extra detail about the toy coming out. So when I can, I promise you, and I'm dying to tell people.
uh best figure pickup this year.
Oh, this year?
You're always on the hunt.
I
Whether it's a new
know.
release or whether it's vintage, just something that you,
You know what? I got a Rock'em Sock'em style like playset. It was Mortal Kombat.
oh, cool.
It's got Goro and Raiden. It's really cool, and it's like a pretty rare piece from when like the craze of '90s Mortal Kombat was
Mhm.
peaking. I have that on display. Pretty much, I'm looking at it right now. But to me, finding that piece in the wild, and it was on like a really big video for me, and I had Nyla Rose there, who's one of my favorite guests to go toy hunting with. So it was really cool and a
Mhm.
holy grail item. So I would say this year that's definitely one of them. But honestly, weirdly enough, I got into like graded comics this year, and finding those has been like super exciting, but also like confusing because I don't know about it. So it's like really new and exciting to me. And I
Mhm.
got the first appearance of Punisher, Craven the Hunter, and Morbius. So those are like the three big buys, I guess, this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that I don't know anything about it, but it's kind of like one of those things where you could kind of just display it on a wall. It's a little easier, I think, than a figure. So
So I wish I could turn the camera to show you the display, but yeah, I love it. I bordered a lot of like my collection with the comic books, and I think I have one right back here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but
I can see like the blue label that usually comes on the grade.
right, yeah. So someone did a poster of me and Danhausen as a Spider-Man cover, and I have the actual cover right beside it. But yeah, so
Nice.
I'm loving the comic books right now.
All right. Here. Oh, I actually have two questions if I have time.
Yeah,
This year, obviously, we talked a lot about you getting opportunities with AEW. Any match in particular that maybe going into the Bandido match as a preview, or just general reference point for a match that you maybe feel like you showed yourself as a complete wrestler, or one that you're just really proud of for one particular reason or another?
yes. Myself versus Cody Rhodes It was the main event of New Year's Smash Rampage, I believe. Uh, it's like 10 o'clock. So we ended up wrestling nearly midnight. And this was a taped Rampage too from Jacksonville. So we were after a Dynamite, very, very, very last. And it was one of the craziest crowds I've ever been in front of. So, like, for me, for people to stay hype as hell for 2 hours of Elevation and 2 hours of Dynamite and then an hour of Rampage with an insane lead in, by the way, that was the crazy women's hardcore tag match with everyone bleeding everywhere. It was a crazy episode of Rampage, but to close that one out. And then also like a very small prideful tidbit, the ratings went up through the match. And this is the last match late night on Friday. So to draw in more viewers, I mean, that's a testament to Cody. This is not me taking credit for it, but it takes two, and it's one of my favorite matches. And it wasn't too crazy either. It's one that just clicked, and we have really good chemistry. And that's one that if I could show to people, I'd be like, yeah, go check that out.
I like it. Very quick. Thanksgiving's coming up. You're Canadian. It's not a huge holiday, but some people still celebrate.
I live here in America now.
No. I was going, but you're a native Canadian that you moved to America, but you're also a big food guy.
Yeah.
So we talked about the weight, preparation and all that. So Thanksgiving's the night after a Dynamite. How does that fit in? Like, are you enjoying Thanksgiving like a normal American, or are you gonna be?
If I had a USA flag to wave around right now, I would. Listen, there ain't much more I love than a good old fashioned American holiday. No joke, just on Halloween alone. Like I have loved Halloween my whole life. This is my first Halloween in America. There was 10 times the amount of kids that came to the door knocking for candy. There's 10 times the amount of kids on the streets going to get it. So like for my family and my kids, like to be here, to be able to celebrate so much bigger, and to have like I have a bunch of family here too. My Aunt Susanna already told me that I have to eat like crap on Thanksgiving. It's not a choice. I realize that I'm a famous celebrity on television, but in a house with my family, I still get told what to do. So I'm gonna eat like crap on Thanksgiving, or someone's gonna whoop my ass. So I'll definitely be crushing some food on Thursday right after Dynamite.
All right. How can you argue with that?
I can't. I really can't.
And I don't know. Maybe I take back my headline comment. I think Canada native Ethan Page, nothing better than an American holiday. It's in the running.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Which one is it going to be?
I don't know. We'll find out. But thanks for the time tonight. It was good catching up with you as always.
Heck yeah, Bill.
Bandido this week. We'll see if you move on to the next round. I'm confident. I think you're confident. We'll see.
Heck yeah, Full Gear. That's when you'll see.
Full Gear, four
full
sets
gear,
of gear. So
I'm full of gear.
Yes, literally. The name. Tony? How can you argue with that? He has full gear. Ethan Page, thanks for your time tonight.
No problem, Bill.